I don't know if this looks Christmassy enough for today. How's that? Too much? I think this is Christmassy enough, but now do I look like I'm going out in the cold when I'm actually just sitting inside? I don't know. We're gonna go with it. Hi everyone, it's Emma. And today I'm doing another book haul. When I did my last book haul, I was like, this will be the last one before Christmas. And a lot of you guys commented and were like, lol, you're gonna have another one. We all know you're gonna buy more books. Unfortunately, you were right. I thought that I would prove you all wrong, but I definitely didn't. I bought a lot more books. If you watched the vlog that I did recently in New York City, I'm going to be hauling all of the things that I bought. There's kind of an excuse because I was filming a bookstore tour video, so I had to buy some books. Like, I wasn't gonna go to all my favorite bookstores in New York City and not buy any books. I just realized I forgot to put lipstick on. That's better. Sorry guys, I'm in a bit of a hyper mood because it's almost Christmas. Let's haul some books, shall we? So in my vlog, I went to the McNally Jackson bookstore, so I'm going to haul what I bought there. I actually only got one thing at that bookstore. This graphic novel called The Secret Loves of Geek Girls. It's edited by Hope Nicholson, but it's actually an anthology with a bunch of authors. So there's stories by Margaret Atwood, Marjorie Liu, Mariko Tamaki, Marguerite Bennett, and many more. It is this anthology of writing and comics, all surrounding geek girls. Oh my gosh, look at this. Anyways, what was I saying? What's cool about this one is that since it's written by different authors, you get different writing styles, but also different art styles, and I find that so interesting to see them all compiled. And I always love the idea of prose mixed with comics, or art mixed with poetry, or poetry mixed with prose. Anything like that that's a mix of different writing styles. So I'm really excited to read this one. It looks like it also has a lot of diversity, so I'm excited. Now I'm going to haul the books that I got at Book Culture. The first one that I got is called Loner, a novel by Teddy Wayne. First of all, this cover and the length of the novel really called out to me. I am not sure what the mood of this novel is going to be. I'm kind of going to go into it not knowing what to expect. I know that the basic plot surrounds this boy, David Allen Fetterman, who has always been quiet, meek, not someone who draws a lot of attention to himself. He arrives at Harvard expecting like everything to change, which it doesn't right away, but then he meets this girl. I think it's a love story. It centers around Harvard, and my Gilmore Girls loving heart loves anything having to do with like Harvard and Yale and those Ivy League schools. The last sentence in the little blurb says, "For once in his life, David will not be forgotten." And I think that's what actually made me pick up the book, because I love stories of people who were always like quiet or not the ones who drew a lot of attention to themselves, and them finding their place in the world or finding their friends or finding their family. The next book that I got at Book Culture is this little book called Things Are What You Make of Them, Life Advice for Creators by Adam J. Kurtz, who is the author of One Page at a Time. This is a little book of encouragement for creative people. I don't think it's specifically meant for writers. I think it's just creators of all kinds. Each color as you go is a different section. The first section is pink, and it has this little note that says how to get started and then some bullet points. Each page as you turn expounds upon the little bullet points, but it's written in a way that is so humbling in like the best sense. Like, it's so nonchalant. So the first bullet point is blurg, like blurg. Work is the worst. Why do we have to do this? Why do we have to do anything? Remember being a kid and like your top concern was if you had a cool lunch or whatever? Those were the days. And then the next point is okay, fine. Yes, all right. Just having work to do is its own kind of privilege. Better to have something to get done than to have nothing at all. Sure, let's start moving on this. If it's gonna happen, then it might as well be as good as possible. Start while there's still enough time to think. It's like encouragements and good advice for creative people, but it's worded in a way that is just really almost like putting you down, but in a good way. Like, not discouraging, but reminding you that all creative people have the same struggles. You don't need to take yourself too seriously. You can view the process as a learning experience, that kind of thing. I wanted it. I like it. And then the last thing I got at Book Culture is one of those blind date with a book thingies. I got this one. I've already opened it, so I know what the book is. The books that it suggested, if you like them, was Mists of Avalon, Outlander, The Night Circus, and The Bookman's Tale. And the book that was inside is A Discovery of Witches by Deborah Harkness. I've actually heard incredible things about this one, so I was really excited when I opened it, and this is what it was, because it's one of those books that I've heard good things. I know it's a really solid fantasy, but I haven't ever picked up. And recently I've been missing fantasy. I've been kind of wanting to reread Name of the Wind, so I thought that this would be a good one. It also takes place in a library and the main character is a female witch, so I'm really excited. Now I'm going to haul the manga that I bought at Kinokuniya. I also did get one book at Kinokuniya, so I'll do that last. The first one I got is Horimiya. This one is a school manga, I think. On the back it says that the girl is known for being smart, attractive, and popular, and then her classmate is the boring, gloomy, loser fanboy. I'm basically always looking for good school manga. I totally picked this one up on a whim. I've never really heard of it before. It was just an impulse buy, which always seems to happen to me in Kinokuniya, and then I usually end up liking what I got, so got that one. I got To Your Eternity by Yoshitoki Oima. I'm not sure how you say the last name. This is the same creator as A Silent Voice, which is my all-time favorite manga. I love that manga. It is so emotional, so beautiful. So this one is by the same creators, but it looks very different. I think it is a fantasy. On the back it says, an orb was cast unto the earth. After metamorphosizing into a wolf, it joins a boy on his bleak journey to find his tribe. It learns and evolves, transcending death even when those around it cannot. So that sounds absolutely nothing like A Silent Voice, but I kind of like that about it because you can tell that the art style is similar, but the story is completely different. Love that. The last manga that I got, I actually didn't buy at Kinokuniya. I ordered it through my bookstore. It is called Astra, Lost in Space. This one's about these kids in the year 2063 who basically go on a field trip or they go away to summer camp in space. Something goes wrong and they have to survive. I don't know. It's called Lost in Space, so I'm guessing they get lost in space. This is a new manga. The first volume just came out, so I'm really excited to see what it's like. I really like the art style from what I've seen. And I've been wanting to read more sci-fi recently. I thought maybe manga would be a good way to do that. And then the book that I got at Kinokuniya is The Lustre of Lost Things by Sophie Chen Keller. The cover is what drew me to it originally, but I read the back, and usually the back of books doesn't do anything for me. I don't really pay attention to the blurbs when I'm looking for something to read. I usually find out about books from my friends or other booktubers. This one says, Walter Lavender Jr. is a master of finding things, a wearer of high tops, a maker of croissants, a son keeping vigil 12 years counting. But he wouldn't be able to tell you. Silenced by his communication disorder, Walter's life gets lonely. Fortunately, he has the Lavenders, his mother's enchanted desert shop, where marzipan dragons breathe actual fire. He also has a knack for tracking down any missing thing except for his lost father. This book sounds like everything that I love kind of pulled into one thing. If any of you have read it, please let me know down below. I would love to hear from someone who's already read it. Even if you're like, no, I hated that book, it was terrible. Please let me know. Now for the books I got at Books of Wonder. So the first one is Moxie by Jennifer. It's probably said Matthew, but it's spelled like a French word, so I'm not sure. I actually already read this book. I read it in 3 days after I bought it. It was a really quick read. It really drew me in. Unfortunately, this was not my favorites of reads. I think I had really high expectations going into it. I was expecting something like The Female of the Species by Mindy McGinnis, and it just was not quite on the same level. That one had a lot of depth and complexity. This one presents feminism in a very simplistic, kind of if you have never heard of what feminism is, then you could read this book and understand it better. But for me, it was so one-sided in a way, so simplified down as to present just one form of feminism that it just didn't appeal to me. It was a little bit too idealistic for me. I'm not sure if people are going to get upset at me for saying that, so if you loved this book, I'm sorry. I totally understand why you did. It's very empowering. It just was not exactly what I was looking for, so for that reason, it was not my favorite of reads. I am, however, really glad that I picked it up because it's one of those books that made me think a lot while I was reading it, made me think a lot after I was reading it. I had some really good conversations with my mom about it. I'm glad I picked it up. It's just not one that I'm going to recommend a lot in the future. Next is Warcross by Marie Lu. I haven't taken the signed copy sticker off, but it is a signed copy. I've mentioned many times before that Books of Wonder has a lot of signed copies of big authors like this. I am not a big Marie Lu fan. In fact, before this one came out, I had kind of sworn her off because they just are never like my cup of tea, and I keep trying them for some reason. Case in point right here, because I picked this one up. As soon as I did, I was like, why did I do this? I'm not even sure if I'm going to read this book. But I've heard so many different opinions about it. Some people rave about it. Some people were kind of disappointed. For that reason, I feel like I wanted to pick it up. So I don't know. Maybe I'll read this one. Maybe it was just an impulse buy. It is, however, very beautiful, so for that reason, I'm happy to have it, even if I don't read it in the very near future. The last bookstore that I'm going to haul books from, I didn't show in the video that I just made, but it will be in kind of like a Christmassy montage vlog that I have coming up. While I was in New York, I also went to the Strand with one of my friends, and I picked up a couple books there. The first one is called A Little Something by Sandy Hall. I also started reading this one, but I actually put it down, and I haven't decided yet if I'm going to pick it back up. Just in like the first 50 pages that I read, there were a couple things that were kind of offensive to me. I was having a hard time reading it. I don't know if I was just in like a super sensitive mood. Maybe I'll try again, keep reading it, because I really did want to read this one. It is basically the love story of these two kids, Leah and Gabe. They're in the same creative writing class, and it's told through all the perspectives of the people around them. Their roommate, or their brother, or a squirrel that they feed, or a bench that they sit on. It's told from all these really unique points of views, which is what made me want to read it. Also, the cover is so pretty. It just looked like it was going to be a really cute read. Lastly, I have another graphic novel. And this one I can say that I'm loving. I'm like halfway through it right now. It's called Quiet Girl in a Noisy World, an Introvert Story by Debbie Tong. This book was written about me and all introvert girls. I love it so much. It makes me feel so understood to read because it is about introvert girls who are quiet in a noisy world and how they move through the world and the things that they struggle with and people who have social anxiety. It's just little moments throughout this girl's life, meeting this boy who becomes her boyfriend, interacting with study groups, like doing little daily things. And I like the art style. It's all black and white. It just is so lovely. I just love it. The last things I'm going to haul for you guys are not books, but they're little bookish things that I got at the Strand. The first one is this little like pencil case bag. It has kitty cats on it. It's so cute. It says Strand on it like most of theirs do. I was having trouble picking which one of these I wanted to get because there were so many that were really pretty. And they had this in a tote bag, which I'll probably buy the next time I go to the Strand. So the little postcard that I got says Stay Curious, and it has a cat on it and some books and like fun knick-knacky things. So I thought that it would be pretty on my wall there. Then I got a pair of socks, which my friend actually bought for me. They have a cat's face on it, but they're like over the knee-high socks. I'm so excited for these. You don't even understand. Obviously, I haven't taken them out of the thing yet, so I haven't worn them yet, but I know that they're going to be a favorite. I know that I'm going to wear them all the time with a comfy sweater and some leggings and my beanie and be the happiest person ever. That is everything that I'm going to haul for you guys today. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you don't mind hauls because I'm going to have another one after Christmas. Comment down below if you have read any of these books and what you thought. Also comment down below if you've read Moxie and what you thought, because I am really curious to hear what some other people thought of that one. I hope you have a lovely day or night or afternoon, and I will see you in my next video.